Did you know that right now, as you're watching this video, your bones could be silently crumbling from the inside out without you feeling a single warning sign? Every single day, millions of people wake up thinking their bones are perfectly fine, yet they're walking around with the bone density of someone 20 years older. The terrifying truth is that bone loss doesn't knock on your door to announce its arrival. It sneaks in quietly, working against you while you sleep, while you work, while you live your normal life, until one day, a simple fall becomes a life-changing fracture. But here's what the medical industry doesn't want you to discover. There's a completely natural way to reverse this silent destruction and actually make your bones stronger than they've been in decades. Not with expensive medications that come with dangerous side effects, not with complicated treatment plans that drain your bank account. I'm talking about 7 specific foods that, when combined in a very particular way, can transform your bone health in just 30 days. What I'm about to share with you goes against everything you've been told about bone health. The supplement. Companies hate this information because it threatens their billion-dollar industry built on half-truths and incomplete solutions. But the science is undeniable, and the results speak for themselves. People who have followed this exact protocol have experienced remarkable transformations. Joint pain that plagued them for years simply vanished. Bones that were once brittle became strong and resilient again. Right now, your body is in a constant battle. Every single minute, your bones are either being built up or torn down. The question is, which side is winning? For most people over 30, the destruction is happening faster than the rebuilding. This is why osteoporosis has become an epidemic, affecting over 200 million people worldwide. But it doesn't have to be your story. The moment you understand what I'm about to reveal, you'll realize why everything you've tried before has fallen short. Why the calcium supplements sitting in your medicine cabinet aren't working. Why your bone density scans keep showing decline despite your best efforts. The answer isn't more of what you've been doing. The answer is understanding the hidden mechanisms that most people, including many doctors, completely overlook. Think about the last time you worried about breaking a bone. Maybe it was watching an elderly relative suffer through a hip fracture, or hearing about a friend who broke their wrist from a minor slip. That fear you felt? That's your intuition, telling you that bone health isn't something you can ignore until it's too late. But fear can be transformed into power when you have the right knowledge. Your bones are living, breathing organs that regenerate completely every 7 to 10 years. This means that the bones you have right now aren't the same bones you had a decade ago. Every single bone cell in your body has been replaced multiple times throughout your life. This incredible regenerative capacity is the key to everything I'm about to show you. If your bones can rebuild themselves naturally, then the question becomes, are you giving them the right building materials? Most people think bone health is simple. Take some calcium, maybe add vitamin D, and hope for the best. This oversimplified approach is exactly why bone loss continues to accelerate despite the billions spent on supplements every year. The reality is far more complex and far more exciting. Your bones require a symphony of nutrients working together in perfect harmony. When even one key player is missing, the entire system breaks down. Before we dive into the 7 game-changing foods, I need you to do something. Look at your hands right now. Flex your fingers. Make a fist. Feel the strength in your grip. Your bones are what make this simple action possible. They're not just scaffolding holding you up. They're active, dynamic structures that house your bone marrow, store essential minerals, and literally keep you standing tall. When you strengthen your bones, you're not just preventing fractures. You're enhancing every aspect of your physical existence. If you're finding value in this information, show your support by hitting that like button. It tells me you want more content like this, and it helps other people discover these life-changing insights. Also, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because what I'm sharing today is just the beginning. There are more bone health secrets that could completely revolutionize how you think about aging and vitality. Now, let's shatter the biggest myth in bone health. For decades, we've been told that calcium is the answer to strong bones. Drink your milk, take your calcium supplements, and your bones will be fine. This incomplete truth has led millions of people down the wrong path. Here's what they don't tell you. Calcium without its essential cofactors is like trying to build a house with bricks, but no mortar. You can pile up all the bricks you want, but without the binding agents, the structure will crumble. The shocking reality is that many people with the highest calcium intake actually have some of the weakest bones. Countries that consume the most dairy products often have the highest rates of hip fractures. This paradox has puzzled researchers for years, but the answer is becoming crystal clear. Calcium absorption and utilization is an incredibly complex process that requires multiple nutrients working in perfect synchronization. When you take calcium supplements without understanding this principle, something dangerous can happen. The calcium doesn't go where you want it to go. Instead of strengthening your bones, it can end up in your arteries, contributing to cardiovascular problems. It can form kidney stones. It can even interfere with the absorption of other crucial minerals your bones desperately need. This is why so many people take calcium religiously, yet continue to lose bone density year after year. But here's where it gets interesting. There are specific foods that naturally contain not just calcium, but all the cofactors needed for proper absorption and utilization. These foods have been nourishing human bones for thousands of years, long before we ever heard of supplements or pharmaceutical interventions. Nature has already created the perfect bone-building packages. We just need to know how to use them. The first food that will transform your bone health might surprise you because it's been hiding in plain sight. Dark leafy greens like kale, collard greens, and bok choy contain a form of calcium that's actually more bioavailable than the calcium in dairy products. But that's just the beginning. These green powerhouses also provide vitamin K2, a nutrient so crucial for bone health that deficiency virtually guarantees bone loss, regardless of how much calcium you consume. Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic director for calcium, making sure it goes to your bones and teeth instead of your soft tissues. Without adequate vitamin K2, calcium becomes a rogue agent in your body, causing more harm than good. Most people are severely deficient in this critical nutrient because it's found in very specific foods that have largely disappeared from the modern diet. When you eat dark leafy greens, you're not just getting calcium and vitamin K2, you're also getting magnesium, another mineral that's absolutely essential for bone formation. Magnesium activates over 300 enzyme systems in your body, many of which are directly involved in bone metabolism. Without sufficient magnesium, your bones literally cannot incorporate calcium properly, no matter how much you consume. But here's something that will blow your mind about these green vegetables. They also contain compounds called isoflavones and other phytonutrients that have been shown to directly stimulate bone-building cells called osteoblasts. These natural compounds send signals to your bones to start the rebuilding process. It's like having a construction crew that not only brings the right materials, but also knows exactly how to use them. The second category of bone-building foods focuses on reducing the silent inflammation that's constantly breaking down your bones. Chronic inflammation is one of the most overlooked factors in bone loss, yet it might be the most important. When your body is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation, it prioritizes dealing with that inflammation over maintaining bone density. Fatty fish like wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel provide omega-3 fatty acids that act like natural fire extinguishers for inflammation. But these fish offer another incredible benefit for your bones. They are one of the few food sources of vitamin D3, the sunshine vitamin that's absolutely crucial for calcium absorption. Without adequate vitamin D, your body can only absorb about 10 to 15% of the calcium you consume. With optimal vitamin D levels, that absorption can increase to 30 to 40% or even higher. But there's a hidden danger lurking in many people's diets that's secretly destroying their bones faster than these healing foods can rebuild them. Think about your typical day. How many processed foods do you eat? How much sugar do you consume? How often do you drink sodas or energy drinks? Each of these seemingly innocent choices is contributing to an acidic environment in your body that forces your bones to give up their minerals to maintain proper pH balance. Your bones are literally being sacrificed to buffer the acid load from your diet. This is why you can eat all the right foods and still struggle with bone loss if you don't address the underlying factors that are working against you. The good news is that once you understand these mechanisms, you can make simple changes that dramatically tip the scales in favor of bone building rather than bone destruction. The third bone-building food category might shock you because it includes foods that many people have been told to avoid. Egg yolks, especially from pasture-raised chickens, are nutritional powerhouses for bone health. They contain vitamin D, vitamin K2, and a host of other nutrients that work synergistically to support bone formation. Yet many people avoid egg yolks because of outdated concerns about cholesterol that have been thoroughly debunked by modern research. When you eat whole eggs from healthy, pasture-raised chickens, you're getting nutrients that simply cannot be found in any supplement. The vitamin K2 in egg yolks is in a form called MK4, which has been shown in studies to significantly reduce fracture risk and increase bone mineral density. This is the same form of vitamin K2 that's found in traditional fermented foods that have sustained healthy populations for centuries. But here's what makes eggs even more special for bone health. They contain all the essential amino acids. Your body needs to build the protein matrix that gives bones their flexibility and strength. Bones aren't just calcium deposits. They're complex structures made up of both minerals and proteins working together. Without adequate protein, your bones become brittle and prone to fracture, even if they have adequate mineral content. The fourth food category contains a mineral that most people don't even know they need. But without it, every other bone-building nutrient becomes virtually useless. Comment below and tell me which of these foods you already include in your diet, and which ones surprised you the most. Your engagement helps me understand what resonates with you and guides the content I create. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because there are 3 more crucial food categories coming up, plus the secret combination method that makes everything work together. The mineral I'm talking about is boron, and it's found in abundance in nuts, particularly almonds and Brazil nuts. Most people have never heard of boron, yet research shows it can increase calcium retention by up to 40%. Without adequate boron, your body literally flushes away the calcium you're working so hard to consume. This tiny trace mineral acts like a master key that unlocks your body's ability to use calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D effectively. Brazil nuts are particularly powerful because they also provide selenium, another trace mineral that supports the enzyme systems involved in bone formation. Just 2 Brazil nuts per day can provide your entire selenium needs while delivering the boron that makes everything else work better. But here's the fascinating part about nuts and bone health. They also provide healthy fats that are essential for absorbing fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin D and vitamin K. When you eat nuts with other bone-building foods, you create a synergistic effect that amplifies the benefits of everything else. The healthy fats help your body absorb the vitamins. The minerals work together to support bone formation, and the protein provides the building blocks for bone matrix. This is why isolated supplements often fail while whole foods succeed. Nature has already created the perfect combinations. The 5th category of bone-strengthening foods includes legumes like lentils, chickpeas, and black beans. These humble foods are absolutely loaded with magnesium, the mineral that activates vitamin D and helps your body utilize calcium properly. But legumes offer something else that's crucial for bone health. They're alkalizing foods that help maintain the proper pH balance in your body. Remember how I mentioned that acidic foods force your bones to give up minerals? Well, alkalizing foods like legumes do the opposite. They create an environment where your bones can hold on to their minerals and even accumulate more. This pH balance is so important that some researchers believe it's more crucial than calcium intake for maintaining bone density as we age. Lentils are particularly special because they also provide folate, a B vitamin that's essential for bone formation. Folate deficiency has been linked to increased fracture risk and poor bone quality. When you eat a serving of lentils, you're getting magnesium, folate, protein, and alkalizing compounds all in one simple, affordable package. But here's something most people don't realize about legumes. They also contain compounds called isoflavones that have been shown to directly stimulate bone formation. These plant compounds can actually mimic some of the bone protective effects of hormones, which is why populations that eat more legumes tend to have stronger bones and fewer fractures as they age. The sixth food category contains a surprising vegetable that most people cook completely wrong, destroying its most powerful bone-building compounds. Broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables like Brussels sprouts and cauliflower are absolute powerhouses for bone health, but only if you prepare them correctly. These vegetables contain sulforaphane, a compound that has been shown to reduce bone loss and support the formation of new bone tissue. But sulforaphane is destroyed by high heat, which means steaming or boiling broccoli eliminates much of its bone-building power. The best way to unlock the full potential of cruciferous vegetables is to chop them and let them sit for 10 to 15 minutes before cooking. This activates an enzyme that creates more sulforaphane. Then cook them lightly by steaming for just a few minutes or eating them raw in salads. This simple preparation method can increase the bone-building compounds by up to 300%. Broccoli also provides vitamin K1, which works alongside vitamin K2 to direct calcium into your bones. It's rich in calcium that's highly bioavailable. Plus, it provides vitamin C, which is essential for collagen formation. Collagen is the protein that gives bones their flexibility and strength. Without adequate collagen, bones become brittle and break easily, even with normal calcium levels. But here's the seventh and most powerful food category that ties everything together and multiplies the effects of everything else you've learned. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and natto contain vitamin K2 in its most potent form. Plus, they provide probiotics that dramatically improve your ability to absorb nutrients from all the other foods. Your gut health directly impacts your bone health in ways that most people never consider. When your digestive system isn't functioning properly, you can eat all the right foods and still become deficient in crucial nutrients. The probiotics in fermented foods help maintain the intestinal environment that's necessary for proper mineral absorption. They also produce certain vitamins, including some forms of vitamin K, directly in your digestive tract. This internal vitamin production can significantly boost your overall nutrient status without requiring any additional supplements. Natto, a traditional Japanese fermented soybean dish, contains the highest levels of vitamin K2 found in any food. Studies in Japan have shown that people who eat natto regularly have significantly stronger bones and fewer fractures than those who don't. The vitamin K2 in natto is so powerful that just one serving can provide 10 times the amount found in other foods. Now here's where everything comes together in a way that will completely transform your approach to bone health. Eating these 7 food categories individually will provide some benefits, but the real magic happens when you combine them strategically. Your body doesn't process nutrients in isolation. Every vitamin, mineral, and compound works as part of an intricate network that either supports or undermines bone formation. The secret is timing and combination. When you eat vitamin D-rich foods like salmon with magnesium-rich foods like spinach, you create a synergistic effect that dramatically improves calcium absorption. When you add vitamin K2 from fermented foods, you ensure that calcium goes to your bones instead of your arteries. When you include the boron from nuts, you increase the retention of everything else. Here's your 30-day bone transformation protocol. Start each day with a green smoothie that includes dark leafy greens, a handful of nuts, and a small amount of fermented vegetables like sauerkraut. This combination provides vitamin K, magnesium, boron, and probiotics all at once. The healthy fats from the nuts help your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins from the greens. For lunch, focus on legumes combined with cruciferous vegetables. A lentil salad with chopped broccoli and a simple olive oil dressing provides magnesium, folate, sulforaphane, and vitamin K1. The alkalizing effect of this combination helps maintain the pH balance that supports bone formation throughout. The afternoon. Dinner should center around fatty fish or pasture-raised eggs for vitamin D and high-quality protein. Add more dark leafy greens and finish with a small serving of fermented foods. This evening combination ensures your body has all the building blocks needed for overnight bone formation, which is when most bone rebuilding actually occurs. But there's one crucial element that can sabotage this entire protocol if you're not aware of it. The foods you avoid are just as important as the foods you include. Sugar, processed foods, and excessive caffeine create an acidic environment that forces your bones to give up minerals regardless of how well you eat. Soft drinks are particularly destructive because they contain phosphoric acid that directly leaches calcium from bones. Alcohol interferes with vitamin D metabolism and reduces your body's ability to absorb nutrients from food. Even moderate alcohol consumption can significantly impact bone formation, especially when combined with other risk factors. The good news is that when you focus on eating the 7 bone-building food categories, you naturally crowd out the foods that work against you. Within the first week of following this protocol, many people notice improvements in joint comfort and energy levels. By week 2, sleep quality often improves as your body's mineral balance stabilizes. Week 3 typically brings noticeable improvements in strength and stability. By the end of 30 days, the changes can be profound enough that friends and family start asking what you're doing differently. The transformation isn't just physical. When your bones are strong and healthy, you move through the world with confidence. You're not afraid of falling or worried about fractures. You can be active and adventurous at any age. This psychological shift often motivates people to make other positive changes in their lives, creating an upward spiral of health and vitality. But remember, this isn't a temporary fix. Bone health is a lifelong commitment that pays dividends for decades. The sooner you start implementing these principles, the more dramatic your results will be. Your bones are constantly remodeling themselves, which means you have the power to influence their strength and density every single day through your food choices. Some people worry that changing their diet is too complicated or expensive. But look at the foods I've shared with you. Dark leafy greens, legumes, cruciferous vegetables, nuts, and fermented foods are among the most affordable, accessible foods available. You don't need exotic superfoods or expensive supplements. You need the wisdom to choose foods that have been nourishing human bones for thousands of years. The pharmaceutical industry wants you to believe that bone health is complicated and requires medical intervention. But your ancestors built strong bones without ever taking a calcium supplement or prescription medication. They ate real food, stayed active, and understood that health comes from working with your body's natural systems, not against them. What you've learned today represents a fundamental shift from treating symptoms to addressing root causes. Instead of waiting for bone density to decline and then trying to stop the damage, you're actively building stronger bones every day. Instead of relying on supplements that may or may not work, you're using whole foods that provide nutrients in their most bioavailable forms. This knowledge empowers you to take control of your health in a way that most people never experience. You're not dependent on doctors, medications, or expensive treatments. You have everything you need to build and maintain strong bones for the rest of your life. The ripple effects of strong bones extend far beyond fracture prevention. When your skeletal system is healthy, your entire body functions better. Your posture improves, your energy increases, and your confidence soars. You're investing in not just your current health, but your quality of life for decades to come. But is this all there is to optimal bone health? What other secrets about nutrition and aging remain hidden from public view? There are more revelations about how your body really works that could completely change your approach to health and longevity. The connections between bone health and brain function, immune system strength, and even emotional well-being run deeper than most people realize. If this content has opened your eyes to new possibilities for your health, consider leaving a super thanks to support the channel. Your financial help allows me to continue researching and sharing these life-changing insights that you won't find anywhere else. This support helps the channel reach more people who desperately need this information and keeps me focused on bringing you the most cutting-edge health revelations available.